Today, we will begin with a new story, The Tree Spirit. This is a folk tale about a king and a tree spirit. Before we begin with the story, I would like to tell you about the usefulness of trees. Trees give us medicines. It is a home for many birds and animals. It gives us wood, which is used to make paper and furniture, and it also gives us shade. Now, let us see the story. A tale that has been told over many years is called a folk tale. Read this beautiful folk tale about a king and a tree spirit. Spirit, spirit means an imaginary creature such as a fairy or elf. There was once a king in a faraway land. He had a grand idea. I want a beautiful palace. It must be supported by a single column in the center. Here, column means, children, tall, strong pillar which can support or decorate a building. Now, so here is a king who wants a palace that stands on a single strong pillar. Now, in the next picture, the king called his chief minister. Send men to our forest. Tell them to cut down the biggest and strongest tree they can find and bring it to me. Yes, Your Majesty. Now, in the second picture, he calls his ministers and asks him to send men to the forest to cut the strongest and biggest tree to make the pillar. Now, coming to the next picture, the minister sent out 30 foresters. After a few days, they returned. Foresters means people who work in forests and take care of the trees and animals. There are many gigantic trees in the forest. We cannot carry them and bring them to the city. Very well. Find a tree in the city parks, bring it to me in 7 days, the king said. The ministers asked 30 foresters to find such a tree. There were many huge trees in the forest, but they could not bring them to the city, so the king asked them to search the parks. The foresters found a splendid sal tree. Splendid means huge or grand, that grew near the palace. They decided to cut it down. Now the people said, "Oh, please do not harm this strong and beautiful tree. It is the home for an ancient and wise spirit who has protected us all for generations." Now the other people who the king has sent to the forest said, "It is the king's order." The foresters finally find a sal tree. Sal tree is a very strong and useful tree. Its wood is used for making strong furniture. So the foresters decided to cut it. But what happened? Some people there said that they should not cut this tree as it is a home for a very old and wise spirit who protects them. So, spirit means soul. So, the foresters told them that it was the king's order. Now, see in the last picture, the foresters spoke respectfully to the tree spirit. "You must leave the tree within 7 days. The king needs the wood from this tree to build his new palace." Now, what did the tree said in return? "This must not be allowed to happen." Now, here in the fifth picture, these foresters then started talking to the tree spirit and asked that spirit to leave the tree within 7 days because the king needs to the wood from the tree to build his palace. The spirit replied that this must not happen, means the tree must not be cut. Thank you.